So recently I released a video covering the graphical improvements we have received for No Man's Sky so far this year, and for the footage in the video I decided to go out of my way and use a free GeForce Now account to get the best possible graphics to help demonstrate how far it has come. Over 1,000 views later, I returned to playing the game on the Steam Deck in handheld mode the good old-fashioned way, and a couple of things caught my attention. The battery was not going down as fast as I had expected, and the fan was notably quiet. So I went and bumped up the settings as the contents of my own video played back in my own mind, engine improvements and optimizations. Keeping the FPS and resolution the same with FSR still enabled, I proceeded to raise all of the settings to medium, then high, then ultra, before returning to high again due to the frame rate drops experienced in ultra. Settling on high settings across the board for the graphics resulted in drastically less pop-in, alongside being able to experience the game's fantastic visuals natively without the need to stream it over GeForce Now, and the deck was able to handle it superbly. Okay, yes, the fan speed did start to pick up, but that is a known trait for any intensive games on the Steam Deck, and it was no louder than my previous playthroughs earlier in the year, all on low settings. The frame rate remained almost entirely consistent at 30 frames per second, dropping to only 29 on occasion, except when leaving a planet's atmosphere, whereby it could drop for less than a second to as low as 10 or 15. Moving on to the topic of battery life, previously with all low settings on the Steam Deck making the game look horrific, I was averaging a battery life of about 2 hours on the Steam Deck, and I was happy with those graphics because you have to make sacrifices in some cases. But guess what battery life we are now looking at with all of the graphics settings set to high? That's right, the very same 2 hours. Naturally, you can choose to keep all of the settings as low as possible and enjoy a significantly longer battery life of between 4 and 5 hours. But personally, I think these drastically improved visuals are worth the 2 hour battery life, as it is truly bringing life to the game. The game's gorgeous looks are so great that since I've had this revelation with the settings on the Steam Deck, I've struggled to pick up any other game, and I firmly believe that based on these improvements that Hello Games have had portable handheld computers in mind recently with their development of Light No Fire. What makes me say this is that it is well known at this point that the engine optimizations being made for the game, Light No Fire, are also being applied to No Man's Sky, and the standard across the industry tends to be pushing the graphics as far as they can go. Many development teams will forego optimizations as long as the game holds its visuals and performance across top tier hardware, encouraging frequent hardware upgrades for consumers to keep up with this constant power creep. So very rarely do we see a game improve this drastically so far into its product lifecycle from the perspective of low power computers. No Man's Sky on the Steam Deck over the course of 6 months went from playable but not great experience to absolutely fantastic at no extra cost to the consumer. If you've been keeping No Man's Sky on the back burner on your handheld computer due to performance issues or due to poor visuals, I strongly encourage you to boot up the game once again, bump up those settings and see for yourself what you can now get out of this very game. In the meantime, whilst I continue to struggle to pull myself away from this fantastic game, I'll be keeping a much closer eye on Light No Fire, because all of the evidence so far points towards it being a fantastic experience on the Steam Deck. If No Man's Sky performs this fantastically with this level of graphics on the Steam Deck, then we can only presume Light No Fire will do the same. And that marks the end of this ramble for No Man's Sky. If you liked this video, then why not go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. My goal for this channel is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would love to get your support. Until the next video, fly casual.